Well, court cases can be quite scary, especially if the judges are intimidating, which they usually are. But even though you and I are scared of the idea of ever stepping into a courtroom and standing in front of a judge, there are some Karens out there who just don't care anymore. Care anymore, get it? Anyways, well, if you don't care, you end up getting insulted pretty badly by the judge. And today, we're going to talk about just that. Let's look at the 5 times Karens were absolutely wrecked by judges. First up, starting with the frivolous motion by a Karen at number 5. So, this one time, Karen walked into a courtroom, taking up court time with a case against a man she knew. Little did she know, she had a whole lot of chaos coming her way. So Karen filed the motion against the man, but her motion didn't go through all the right procedures, and the judge put her back in her place for wasting literally everyone's time.
Your relief is denied, and in addition to that, I am sanctioning you with costs of $500.
Here, take a look for yourself. The judge asked the defendant how she can ask to sanction someone who hasn't even been served. After that, Karen tries to answer back, which we all know is a big no-no in the court of law, and that's when the judge really lets her hear it.
This man, for whatever reason you may have, and I really don't care because it does not involve me or my court. However,
the Karen tried arguing back, saying that she had a constitutional right to be heard, after which she had some more insults coming her way. The judge calls hers a frivolous motion taking up the court's time for no good reason other than your own personal vendetta against this man. In fact, things got so bad that instead of punishing the man as Karen wanted, the judge issued her a $500 fine. Yikes. I guess that's what you get for talking back to the court and coming up with pointless motions. Moving on to a disruptive Karen at number 4. Next, a woman was sentenced to 3 to 15 years in jail for driving under the influence and causing a deadly collision, killing a father of 6, along with wounding the mother. There are members of the victim's family there as well. As the children of the recently dead father read a victim impact statement, they wrote,
"You cannot come down to the Frank Murphy Hall of Justice."
The guilty woman's mother might be heard laughing. Check carefully how the judge handles that scenario.
After orders restored, Amanda Casal is sentenced.
As you look at the video, keep in mind that Jerome Zerker, 31, was murdered and his girlfriend was seriously wounded in a head-on accident caused by Casal, who was found guilty of DUI. So, it's clear that the woman was guilty of what she did, and her mother had absolutely zero right to be a demon and laugh it off.
Criminal contempt, your disruptive and disrespectful behavior.
As you can see, the judge was rightfully super pissed at the woman for making a joke out of the situation, and she got sent to county jail for her disruptive behavior.
And I apologize very sorely and for the other family.
What's worse is that her behavior aggravated the judge so much that the criminal in question also had to face a severe penalty. The very next day, once the trial of the driver was over, the disruptive Karen was called out in front of the judge again after spending a night in jail.
That's the defendant's mother, Donna Casal.
We think that the night in jail really put things into perspective for her, because the next day she stood in front of the judge and she apologized, saying that she learned a very serious lesson. She also said that her night in jail helped her realize that what she did was wrong, but she claimed that she's gone through a lot of stress because of her daughter. And it looks like her almost remorseful apology kind of worked, because the judge allowed her to go back home. Up next at number 3, a restaurant owner, Karen, gets slammed. Now, this is both hilarious and just shocking. So the testimony started out all plain and simple, but things escalated in no time at all. She was just asked one simple question, which was if she swears to tell the whole truth. She denied answering the question, and naturally the judge got real pissed.
You can cite cases all day to me. You're entitled to a hearing, your rights remain intact, but for today's purposes, you are under arrest for contempt of court, this court. You may be escorted out. Thank you.
She said, "I know you want to control this room, but this isn't Burger King. When the sign changes to Burger King, you can have it your way. Right now, this is my courtroom and you will answer my questions." So, here's what happened. For simply refusing to comply with the judge's order and taking the oath, Marlena Pavlos Hackney was imprisoned for 4 days. On March 19th, this strange exchange took place in the Ingham County Circuit Court.
Ma'am, stop. I know you want to control this room.
In this scene, Judge Rosemary Akalina questions Pavlos Hackney under oath about truthfulness of his testimony. Instead, it seems a suspect attempted to call a witness to the stand, which is bizarre for a lot of reasons. The judge even warned her that she'd hold the woman for 93 days in jail for disrupting the courtroom, or she might be fined $7,500. But alas, it didn't work on her, as she stayed quiet for the rest of the warning. After paying $15,000 in fines, the 55-year-old was released from prison. When Marlena Pavlos Hackney first appeared in court, she was facing charges of defying a state closure order by remaining open for business in Michigan.
Be escorted out. Thank you.
She was required to shut her eatery due to a court order. Pavlos Hackney was fined and sent to prison several times for opening and closing her business, Marlena's Bistro and Pizzeria. MLive claims that she'll be held in contempt of court and fined extra money if she reopens a restaurant. As she continues to seek money for her odd position, she keeps raising the target on her GoFundMe, which is currently at $350,000. Jeez, that is just one passionate Karen. As you can see, Karens cause trouble. Have you encountered a Karen in the wild? Let us know what you think in the comment section below, or what your crazy experience with a Karen was. Just talk to me, please, I'm lonely. Following up at number 2, the adios girl. Now, if you thought Karens were always old or middle-aged white women going through a midlife crisis, you got another thing coming.
It's worth money.
Have you had any kind of drugs in the last 24 hours?
Karens can also come in the form of young girls who just don't like following the rules. For instance, this court case is a clear example of what we're getting at. So, this one girl was busted on substance abuse charges, and while leaving the courtroom, she said adios to the judge, and the judge called her back and fined her $10,000.
It's worth money.
Have you had any kind of drugs in the last 24 hours?
But the girl didn't like it very much. She made a huge mistake, and she flipped off the judge. When bail was set for Soto, 18, on a marijuana possession charge on February 4th, footage of her making an obscene gesture to Miami-Dade Circuit Judge Jorge Rodriguez Comat went viral. According to WSVN, the court found the adolescent in contempt of court and imposed a sentence of 30 days in jail. So, take a look. After a tearful apology to the court, during which she explained that she'd been under the influence of Xanax and alcohol, she was only sentenced to 5 days in jail. A much more reserved young lady showed up in court a few days later, dressed conservatively in a dark shirt, and used a little hair clip to keep her long black hair out of her face.
To the court and you, but to my family.
The 18-year-old responded to the judge with a grin and a nice remark. After discovering that Soto had passed all of her drug tests and is routinely attending Narcotics Anonymous meetings, the judge seemed quite satisfied with her change. Penelope Soto told Rodriguez Coman, "My reaction was really illogical, and I apologize not just to the court and you, but to my family."
Count one would be 10,000.
Are you serious?
I am serious. Adios.
After hearing her explanation, Judge Rodriguez Coman dismissed the 30-day contempt sentence he had given her for the first Xanax possession case. She's a first-time offender. She admitted to abusing Xanax and was eager to address her addiction by attending a drug treatment program. She apologized, and so they decided to dismiss her contempt penalty. Finally, at number 1, the Karen who tried. On the evening of February 6 of 2007, DeWitt was arrested for assaulting Schaefer after a heated council meeting. Earlier, DeWitt had spoken about her attempts to recall Mayor Jim Deere from office, and she was now stepping away from the microphone. One of Deere's allies, Schaefer, could be seen in the first row.
Hey, stop that woman from leaving the room.
Schaefer seemed to murmur displeasure as DeWitt walked by, provoking DeWitt to hit her over the head with a pile of papers, which kicked off a domino effect of immaturity. Schaefer yelled back in shock and collapsed to the floor, an action that was widely panned for being staged. Also taken aback, Deere yelled to the bailiff to take DeWitt into custody, saying that Schaefer had been struck in the eye and required medical treatment. The whole affair was caught on tape by the council and afterwards shown many times on television throughout the country.
Deere just struck a woman in the eye. Let's take a recess here while we clear the room.
A legal proceeding was initiated against DeWitt. Schaefer has a 100-yard restraining order, later reduced to 3 yards and still in force. Misdemeanor violence charges were also launched against DeWitt, with a potential prison sentence of up to 6 months. Here, take a look at it yourself. And that's a wrap for this video. So, which of these court cases with Karens was the funniest one to you? Let us know in the comment section below. Make sure to give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. I'll see you in the next one.